Hello friends, welcome back. You are being with me for Ancillary Physics 3. From this video, we are going to discuss unit number 3, that is magnetic effects on electric current. That is, when you consider a conductor which is carrying current, if you influence with that current carrying conductor with an external magnetic field, what are the effects happening in that current carrying wire, and with that effects, what are the fruitful applications that one can draw? These are the things that we can discuss in the coming lectures under the unit number 3. Okay, magnetic effect on electric current. How this started, how this branch of science has started. The background is a small experiment which was done by Oersted. So Oersted, he is the person who done an experiment. In this experiment, what he has done was, he has taken a current carrying wire. So this is a current carrying wire. So he has taken a current carrying wire, and suppose this direction I, this is the direction in which the current is flowing through this wire. In this situation, what he has done is, he has placed a magnetic field, a magnetic needle to the closer proximity of the wire, and which is placed parallel to the wire. He has taken a magnetic needle, so this will be south pole, this will be north pole, this will be south pole, and this needle is placed parallel to the current carrying conductor and in the close proximity, not in the long distance, it is in the closer distance. What happens? He noticed that there is a deflection of magnetic needle when the current is flowing in through this wire. If it is switched off, then the magnetic needles are not deflecting. But if the current is switched on, then it gets deflected, right? It gets deflected like this. Right? So a needle which is initially looks like, now it turns like this. It turns like this. So this becomes north, this becomes south. It turns. And it was concluded that when there is a current flowing through an electric conductor, then there exists a magnetic field around it. So there exists a magnetic field. There is a magnetic field line around this current carrying conductor. So this magnetic induction is denoted by B, which is simply magnetic induction. As there is a magnetic induction created, that is magnetic field created around the current carrying wire, that magnetic induction that makes to deflect this pivoted magnetic needle. So this is the idea. But the question rises, and what direction this needle will turn? So this question was answered by Ampere's swimming rule. So Ampere's swimming rule. According to Ampere, it's like this is the direction of the flow of the current in this current carrying conductor. Now this is the magnetic needle. Consider a person who is swimming along this direction. A person who is swimming along this direction. Which direction? The direction of the flow of the current. And he is facing this needle. Which means this is the current carrying conductor. The pivoted magnetic needle is placed one side, and the person who is swimming along the direction of the current carrying wire is placed another side, and this person is looking this needle. So it's like this is needle and this is person, and in the middle the current carrying wire is there. So this person looks this needle, right? Needle will get to deflect up and down. So this person is swimming. If this person is facing this needle, then he may have one hand this side, one hand that side. It's like a person's face looking the needle, and this is one hand left hand, this is one hand right hand. In this case, so this is right hand, this is left hand, right? He is facing this. Now, if the current is switched on, then this needle will get deflect towards his left hand, right? So here, this is left hand, this is right hand. What happened? It will goes up. The needle will goes up, right? So this is left hand, this is right hand. So he will swim like this, right? He will swim like this, and this needle, when you enable the current through the wire, and this needle will get reflected towards his left hand. This is left hand, right? So it will goes up, right? In that is what he concluded. Ampere concluded that when a person who is flowing in the direction of the current carrying wire, who is looking in the whose face is looking the needle, pivotal needle, then when the current is flowing through the conductor, which makes the deflection on the pivoted magnetic needle, that is to the direction where the person's left hand locates. Okay, so that is called Ampere's swimming rule. So this is the background how the magnetic needle which is placed outside the current carrying conductor will be getting deflected, and because of the deflection we could able to draw many applications, and we are going to see some of them. But before that, this pivoted magnetic needle which is getting deflected, which means something act upon it. If something gets, suppose if I want to move this chalk piece, see there is a chalk piece over this book. If I want to move it, I need to apply some force, right? Similar way, here due to this external magnetic induction which is created because of the current carrying wire that applies some force to the pivoted magnetic needle, due to that needle gets deflected. Got it? Fine. Now, if this is the case, then what would be the magnitude of the force, direction of the force? That would be the immediate next question one would raise. Let us try to answer. That is, force on a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field. Force on a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field. Okay, force on a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field. So let us consider a current carrying conductor. So there is a conductor. Let's say the current I is flowing through this in this direction, so it's a vector, and the length, say this AB is the wire which carries the current, the length is L, and magnetic field is applied cross to that, right? So let us consider one such magnetic field, B vector. Now angle between these as theta. Now there would be some force because of that. Let F. Now we have to write an equation for this force. That is our idea, right? So this equation for force is F vector, which is nothing but this I cross product this B. So that I vector cross product B vector. But the force, the magnitude of the force will accounted with the total length of the current carrying wire. So that you have to multiply this with L. Okay, so that I vector L cross product B vector. This you can write I L B sin theta. So in order to get sin theta, I give you a homework. Apply trigonometric concept. What is homework? Apply trigonometric concept, that is you consider a right triangle triangle, right? Now write an equation for sin theta. Something will be up. You recollect what is the formula for sin theta. You apply it here. You will get what is sin theta. If not, then we will discuss in the next class if you couldn't able to recollect this idea behind that. Okay. Anyway, so you can replace cross and vector with sin theta. Now, if theta equal to 90 degree, what would happen? F vector becomes IL B sin 90 degree, which is 1. So this becomes IL B. Okay. Another case, if theta is equal to 0 degree, what will happen? F is equal to 0. Why? Because sin 0, 0. Okay. So it means that the force experienced, the force exerted because of the interaction of the current carrying wire under magnetic induction is maximum when the angle between B and I, that is current and magnetic induction, is perpendicular to each other. And if it is 0, the force is 0 when the magnetic induction and the current flows in the same direction. Direction okay. The direction of the force fine. The magnitude is okay. Magnitude of the force that we have calculated. What about the direction? In what direction this force will be exerted? We said if both on the perpendicular direction, that is current and magnetic induction on perpendicular direction, we will get the maximum magnitude for the force. But that magnitude will be exerted in what direction? That is the question. That is given by Fleming's left hand rule. What is that? Fleming's left hand rule. Okay. This is Fleming's left hand rule. How to apply that? See, I make 3 fingers of my left hand over this diagram. One this finger, another one is this finger, another one is this finger. Right? Let me take it out. Right? This finger, and this finger. Now, you see, you can connect these 3 fingers like a curve, like this. Right? So, in that case, you get an symbol B. So, first 4 finger you get a symbol B. So, you put that symbol B here. So, this is B vector. And if you connect these two, this finger and this finger, you put, if you connect it, you will get C. Right? So that this is nothing but current I vector, current, right? So that you can put I vector or simply current C, right? So if this is magnetic induction and this is current, and if both are lying perpendicular with each other, and this one represents the direction of the force. Here the magnetic field, magnetic induction directed outwards, the current also directed outwards, both are perpendicular to each other. In that case, the force will perpendicular to both of these things. It is perpendicular to current, it is perpendicular to magnetic induction, and this is also directed outwards. If you look this, it is perpendicular to magnetic field, it is also perpendicular to, in this way, this direction, it is directing outward, so it is perpendicular to this plane and it is perpendicular to this plane. Which one is force? So this you can explain using this left hand rule, which was given by Fleming. So it is denoted by Fleming's left hand rule. That is, the direction of the magnetic induction represents the forefinger represents the direction of the magnetic field, and this middle finger represents the direction of the current. If both are lying perpendicular to each other, then this big finger, thumb finger, represent the direction of the force. This thumb finger is perpendicular with the forefinger as well as middle finger, hence the direction is going upwards. So this is the Fleming's left hand rule. Very simple. You consider three fingers, right? You can connect these three lines. In the right side it will give you B, which you can put in the middle line. If you connect, it will give you C, so you put here. So B, C, which are perpendicular with each other. In that case, the force will perpendicular to both of these and directed outwards if B and C directed outwards. So this is the Fleming's and left hand rule. A rectangular current loop is placed in the environment of magnetic field. Now we are going to calculate the expression, we are going to calculate the torque experienced in that current loop due to the magnetic field. For that we are going to apply the equation for force and the Fleming's left hand rule. So torque on a current loop of current loop in a torque on a current loop in a uniform magnetic field. Let us consider a current loop current flowing in this direction. Let's put this as P, Q, R, S, and we place this setup in an uniform magnetic field, permanent magnetic field. So this is magnetic field, this is north pole, this is south pole, and the magnetic field lines traverses from north pole to south pole. Okay, this is the experimental setup. Now let I is the current flowing through the wire. I is the current flowing in the wire. Then this, let us denote this as length, and this part of the wire is breadth. So that length of the wire we can write L length, which is nothing but PQ and then RS. It is length of the wire, and if you write this is the length of the wire, and this you can write breadth. Breadth is nothing but PR, Q is nothing but breadth of the wire, length and breadth of the wire. And this, for this coil, the area of this rectangle is that area which is nothing but length and breadth. Okay, this is the area that is nothing but length and breadth. Now, this current carrying coil, it is placed within the environment of magnetic field, then this will experience a force due to this magnetic field lines that we can write. Equation for this force we can write. So for that we have to apply the formula F which is equal to IL B sin theta. This is the expression for force, and the direction of the force we can denote by Fleming's left hand rule. Fleming's left hand rule. Now see the current flowing in this direction, it is going here and it is coming down, it is going left, it is going up and going right and goes out. In this rectangular loop, two phases PR and QS which are parallel to the magnetic field lines, while PQ and RS which are perpendicular to the magnetic field line. Now, the case 1, what would be the force for, that is, current and the magnetic field? The angle between the current and magnetic field is 0 for PQ and QS, right? So in the first case, the angle between current and B, which is equal to, that is nothing but sin theta. Here theta is equal to 0 for the first case, where in the PR and QS, in that case what would be the force? Force is nothing but ILB sin 0 0, so that this becomes 0. So there is no force experienced on this phase PR and QS. Fine. And the second case, RS, and the phase RS and the phase PQ. In the RS, the current flowing in one direction, while in the PQ the current flowing in the opposite direction. In that case we can apply Fleming's left hand rule. But if you write the equation for force F, that is ILB sin 90, so that this becomes ILB, that is the force. Okay, and it is clearly understood that the direction of the force on this phase and the direction of the force on this phase would be opposite with each other. But what would be the direction that we would like to understand? See, in the phase PQ, what is that? In the phase PQ, this is the direction of the magnetic field. So you can put the forefinger here, and upper direction, this is the direction of the current. So this should be putting like this. In this case, this is the direction of the force, which means this is the direction of the magnetic field, this is the direction of the current, and in that case force is directed inwards, that is, the force is pointed into the board, if this is the case. And in this case you can see that this is the direction of the magnetic field and this is the direction of the current. Current is flowing down, so that automatically this count, so that here the force comes out. It is comes out, the force comes out from the board, right? So first case, for PQ the current is directed into the board, while in this case it is coming out from the board, that is, it is going into the loop, it is coming out from the loop. So it is exactly opposite with each other, right? In that case, that is, if you consider 2 points, one side the force is going one direction, other side it is going in opposite direction, but the magnitude on both cases are equal, right? In that case it creates a force couple, a pair of forces which are acting on opposite direction with equal magnitude, then that is said to be force couple. And this force couple will create, if this is a something like a needle, if it is fixed in the center, then what will create is this force couple will make it to rotate, right? If the rotation coming into the place, then there exists a torque, right? Then there exists a torque. Fine. Now we can write the resultant torque, which means this rectangular coil will start to move, it's rotate, and this rotation you can write the torque. What is the torque? Torque due to this magnetic field over this current carrying coil, that you can write torque tau, which is length of one side, length of the side multiplied by, right, this length of the side, or you can say perpendicular distance, multiplied by one of the forces, the magnitude of one of the forces. In our case, perpendicular distance is L, multiplied by magnetic forces is perpendicular distance is L, and this one, what is that? Force ILB multiplied by ILB. No. I'm sorry. What happens is, see here, what is that? The force couple is acting here, right? And the distance between this force couple, that distance is nothing but perpendicular distance. So this distance. So distance between the two force points acting. So in that case, distance between these two force point acting is nothing but B. So perpendicular distance is B multiplied by one of the forces. What is one of the forces? ILB. Where I is the current and L is the length, B is the magnetic index. This B is the breadth. So that tau, which is nothing but IB and LB. LB is nothing but area, so that IBA. So expression for torque is IBA. This is for a single wire loop. Suppose if there are number of wires, that is there are n turns, then the torque due to this n turns is nothing but INBA. This is the torque created on this current carrying loop due to the application of the magnetic field. And this idea, this concept of torque, that is the base for moving coil galvanometer. The application of moving coil galvanometer is coming from this concept. It's very simple concept, and let us continue the concept of moving coil galvanometer, how it works, in the next lecture. So today we have discussed the Oersted experiment and Ampere's swimming rule, and then the force expression for the force when the magnetic field is placed in the current carrying wire, and Fleming's left hand rule to denote the direction of the force, and an expression for torque and a current loop in an uniform magnetic field. So with this, let me stop here, and we will continue from moving coil galvanometer in the next class. Until then, be safe. Bye.